There are hotels, and then there is the Grand Mayflower, a place where marble floors whisper old money and golden chandeliers hang like royalty over velvet carpets, the kind of place where every corner smells like power and promises. Its name is etched in history. Presidents have stayed here, scandals have been buried here, and legends have been born under its rose gold ceiling. But tonight is unlike any other night in the Mayflower's long and storied existence. Tonight, the queen of luxury herself, Clara Whitestone, is planning something beyond opulence. She moves through the ballroom like a conductor of beauty. Mid-40s, statuesque, with silver blonde hair wrapped in a silk twist and heels that echo power across the marble. Clara Whitestone, the face of classic elegance. The woman behind award-winning campaigns, multi-million-dollar galas, and signature champagne brands. She doesn't just throw parties. She creates moments the world talks about for years. And now she's crafting her masterpiece. She points at crystal goblets. No, not those. I want the baccarat ones, the clear twist, not smoke. She approves imported orchids flown in from Lake Como just hours ago. The wine, a private reserve from Bordeaux, bottled 18 years ago, only opened on royal tables. And the guest list? Well, everyone wants to be on it. Presidential candidates, movie stars, European aristocrats. But there's one mystery that no one can unravel. Whispers fill the hotel's gold-draped hallways. Who is her husband? No one's ever seen his photo. Is he a Saudi prince? A tech ghost? Maybe an African billionaire? Even the staff don't know. His name is sealed. His identity? A well-guarded myth. Clara works late into the night, orchestrating details down to the napkin folds. No assistant, no delegation, just passion and precision. A queen guarding the crown jewel of her life. She retreats into her private suite, penthouse level, floor 33, accessible only by a key card with her name engraved in gold. She pours herself a glass of champagne, sighs, and walks into a small hidden room behind a velvet curtain. The lights are low. A single portrait hangs in there. We don't see it. Only the silhouette. Clara touches the frame gently and smiles. Then, in a voice full of devotion and promise, she whispers, "They'll all know you soon." The following morning, Clara moved with prestige into her office. She's on the phone now, looking over the final seating chart. Her voice is calm but confident. Yes, I want the fireworks to spell his name across the sky, but not until I give the cue. A warm voice responds on the other end of the line. It's deep, gentle, full of love and strength. "Anything you do is perfect, Clara." She chuckles. That elegant kind of laugh that holds power. "You always say that." "Because it's always true," the man replies. But we don't see his face. Not yet. Back in the grand lobby, the buzz is rising. Reporters are circling. Camera flashes pop from across the street. Even the hotel staff, seasoned and trained to ignore celebrity energy, can't help but peek into the ballroom now and then. A young concierge whispers to a bellboy, "You think we'll finally meet the guy?" "Maybe it's Elon Musk under a new name," the bellboy smirks. "Or maybe it's the ghost of Gatsby come to life," someone adds. The mystery grows, the legend builds. But upstairs, in the quiet space behind luxury and light, Clara stands before that portrait again. She closes her eyes, and for a moment, her perfectly composed face flickers. With fear, with anticipation, with love. "This is your moment," she says, voice barely above a whisper. "It's time." She walks out of the room. The party of the decade is set. Everything is in place. But no one knows. The man they came to celebrate, the man behind the empire, is the same man they would never recognize if he walked in through the front door. Every spotlight casts a shadow, and behind every crowned queen, there's often a man the world never sees. Long before there was the Grand Mayflower, long before the gala invitations and imported orchids, there was a man and a dream, carved in calloused hands and sleepless nights. His name is Anthony Whitestone. Tony to those who truly know him. 25 years ago, he wasn't a myth. He was a man pouring concrete in cheap boots by day and typing lines of code on a second-hand laptop by night. No tailored suits, No estate, no champagne, just vision. Back then, DC developers mocked his ideas. Who would take a hotel dream seriously from a black man who smelled like sweat and ambition? Luxury? They laughed. Stick to labor, brother. But Tony never raised his voice. He raised his standards. While others rested, he researched. While they vacationed, he studied zoning permits, investor pitch decks, and global hotel trends. He built the business model for the Grand Mayflower from a basement he couldn't afford. Then came her, Clara Jameson, a junior PR girl fresh out of college. Sharp, hungry, full of fire. She was the only one who saw him not as a worker, but as a visionary. She said, "If you're building it, I'm building with you." And together, they did. With her eye for elegance and his mind for systems, they were unstoppable. She secured the branding, he secured the blueprint. They pitched, begged, got rejected, and pitched again. One day, a foreign investor gave them a sliver of a chance. Tony mortgaged everything. Clara quit her job. They bet it all. And slowly, brick by brick, the Grand Mayflower rose. But the society wasn't ready. The face they wanted for luxury wasn't his. Tony was told, bluntly, "No offense, Mr. Whitestone, but a black man leading a five-star luxury chain in the city? It won't sell." He stared at the boardroom, not angry, just tired. He walked out, went home, and poured himself a whiskey. Clara sat beside him in silence. Then she whispered, "Let me be the face. You stay the soul." And so he disappeared. Publicly, he was the silent partner. Privately, he was the architect, the money, the systems, the foundation. Clara was flawless under the spotlight. And Tony? He watched from the shadows, always close, never seen. He attended events as a consultant, dressed down, introduced by first name only, and it worked. The hotel soared. Presidents came, awards flowed, magazines called her America's Duchess of Decadence. But in the quiet, Tony questioned, "How long can I hide? How long before the world sees me? Not as a threat, but as a builder." Clara would hold his hand at night and say, "One day, my love, one day they'll know everything." That day is now. He watches from the penthouse balcony as the final fireworks rehearsal begins. One spell of light dances across the dark sky. ATW. Clara steps beside him, wrapping a scarf over her shoulders. "It's time the world sees you," she says, gently. Tony smiles, eyes soft but steady. "Let's give them a night they won't forget." This isn't just a party. It's a reckoning. He's not just reclaiming his name. He's rewriting the rules. Downstairs, they rehearse speeches. They plan photo ops. But what they don't know is the real headline is about to walk through their door, and they won't even recognize him. Inside the Grand Mayflower Hotel, 2 days to the gala, early morning. The hotel was a hive of elegance and tension. 1,000 chandeliers sparkled. Fresh orchids from Tuscany filled the air with grace. The countdown to the biggest birthday in Mayflower history had begun. News outlets buzzed like bees in springtime. The mystery man of Mayflower, who is he? A 50th birthday for a ghost? Hashtag mystery mogul trends on X and TikTok. Invitations had been sent. Gold leaf envelopes, embossed signatures, strictly no plus ones. Each card read simply, "You are cordially invited to a private birthday gala honoring the man behind the legend, the Grand Mayflower, 8 p.m. sharp." The name? Still redacted, just a golden W. Inside the staff lounge, hotel basement, same day. The staff room buzzed with speculation. Logan, young, sharp-suited, entitled, leaned over the snack counter. He was new management, fast-track graduate, the kind who corrected grammar on emails and scoffed at nostalgia. His voice always held an edge of sarcasm. "So wait, this guy built the Mayflower but never showed up? Come on. Sounds like a bedtime story y'all old-timers keep telling yourselves." The younger staff chuckled. Sandra, a soft-spoken Afro-Latina housekeeper with 28 years under her belt, quietly folded towels in the corner. "Just because he ain't loud don't mean he ain't real." Logan smirked. "Right? Let me guess. He's in the walls too?" More laughter. But one voice cut through the room. Chef Darnell, Older, dignified, voice like smoked oak, said, "Watch your mouth, boy. That man gave half this crew a second chance in life. You stand here, 'cause he let this place grow without flashing his face." The room fell quiet for a beat. Logan rolled his eyes. "Whatever. All I'm saying is, I'll be managing entry on gala night. No riffraff. This is Mayflower, not the subway." Inside Clara's private suite, later that night. The suite was warm. Piano music played softly from a hidden speaker. Clara sat at her mirror, reviewing the RSVP list again. Her reflection stared back, exhausted, proud, but nervous. She looked up at a large covered canvas near the fireplace, the portrait of her husband still veiled. Her phone rang. Tony. Hey, birthday girl. That's you, not me. Their banter was soft, playful, but beneath it, a current of tension hummed. She hesitated. Tony, are you sure you're ready for this? For them? He replied gently. It's time. I've lived in the shadows long enough. Let them look me in the eye this time, and let's see who blinks first. Gala day, 6 hours before event. Inside hotel security room, Logan stood with 2 private security contractors and a list. Nobody enters without being on this list. No names, no exceptions. I don't care if they show up in a diamond suit. This is Mayflower's image we're protecting. He walked them through VIP protocols. The tone was clear. White gloves for the elite, rubber gloves for the rest. One of the guards asked, "What if someone tries to drop a name?" Logan grinned. Then they better know how to spell lawsuit. Inside hotel kitchen, gala day, 5:45 p.m. A fire alarm suddenly blared. Smoke curled from one of the east wing ovens, a grease flare-up. Panic spread among the kitchen staff. Guests were already arriving. Clara rushed down in her heels, apron over her dress. "Move the soufflés to station B. Get the vents cleared. Where's Darnell?" Tony, already dressed, stood by the elevator watching the chaos. Clara leaned over to him, brushing his lapel. "I'll handle this. I'll meet you in the lobby in 10 minutes. She kissed his cheek and disappeared into smoke and shouts. Inside the lobby, it's 6:15 p.m. Guests were gliding in. Senators, Silicon Valley heads, former presidents' wives, all dressed in silk and ego. Camera flashes lit up the room like daylight. The media swooned over Clara's planning. The decor was breathtaking. One reporter whispered, "Still no word on the birthday boy?" Another replied, "He's probably watching from the rooftop like Gatsby." At the front entrance, same time. The night had come. The stars wore silk and diamonds, and the Mayflower stood like a monument to human ambition. Limousines lined the street. The powerful, the polished, the proud. They waltzed past marble lions and golden chandeliers, sipping legacy from crystal flutes. But one man arrived alone. No fanfare, no bodyguards, just presence. Door opens. A black man, 50 years old, steps out. Elegant tuxedo, silver cufflinks, crisp fade, calm, observing eyes. Anthony Whitestone, the man who built it. But tonight, a stranger. Tony nods at the valet, a young white man, clearly flustered. Valet smirked. "Sir, deliveries go round back." "Tony, I'm not a delivery." "Valet, this entrance is for guests only. I was invited." "Expected, actually," replied Tony. The valet, awkwardly unsure, steps aside. Tony walks toward the main foyer. Inside, Logan, the crisp junior manager with cold eyes, stands by the red carpet. He watches everything, giving instructions with pride. "Keep it tight, folks. No slip-ups. This night's for legends, not surprises." A radio crackles in his earpiece. The valet. "Hey, Logan, there's a guy trying to enter. Says he's expected. Older black man, real sharp suit, but no credentials. Logan, tight-voiced. Tell him no. I'll deal with it." At the front lobby, Tony pushes through the doors. The room quiets. Heads turn. A moment of discomfort. He entered the palace he carved from vision, but to its keepers, he was nobody. Security appears. 2 officers flank Tony. Security guard 1. "Sir, do you have credentials?" Tony, "No, but I have something better. Legacy." Logan strides over, already dismissive. Okay, what's happening here? You must be Logan, Tony remarked. Good guess. Now you need to leave. VIP only, replied Logan. And if I told you I created VIP here? Tony replied Logan, laughs. Cute. Listen, I don't know who you are, but I know who you aren't. Logan turns to the guards. Escort him out. Now, above them, on a maintenance balcony, Mr. Harold watches. 68, black, janitor. His eyes widen, his hands tremble. Mr. Harold had seen every brick laid. He watched the rise of Anthony Whitestone from dust to dynasty. But tonight, silence would betray him. Harold drops his mop and bolts down the stairs. Outside, security grabs Tony's arms. He resists slightly confused. Take your hands off me. Tony struggles. Security guard 2. Sir, don't make this harder. Suddenly, Mr. Harold, running in. Stop! Stop right there. The guards pause, startled. Logan has already walked off smug. Mr. Harold to the guards. That man, that's Mr. Anthony Whitestone. The owner? The man this whole damn night is about. Guards look at each other, confused. One releases Tony. The other hesitates. Security head, suspicious. Oh, so that's it? You vouch for him because he's your skin color? Or maybe he's your long-lost brother? I'm telling the truth. That's the CEO's husband. Ask anyone. All right, here's what's going to happen. We escort him inside with you. If you're lying, Harold, Logan's going to fire you so fast your name won't make the door. Harold nods. Tony adjusts his jacket calmly. They begin walking in. Ballroom entrance. Guests whisper as the group enters. Tony, Harold, the security head, and a second guard. Guest 1 whispers. That guy again? Guest 2. Didn't they throw him out? Inside. Logan is arranging 4 stunning ushers for the arrival of the man the night is all about. He turns, sees the group, stops dead. Logan charging forward. What the hell is this? Why is he inside? Security head, defensive. Harold said he's the owner. We brought him to confirm. Logan, boiling? You again? Harold, I warned you. This is your last day. Logan slaps Harold, hard, gasps. Harold stumbles back. You're fired. Out of my building. And you, points at Tony. Out of my premises. Tony tries to respond, but guards tackle him, pin him. A gasp erupts. Guests turn. Phones come out. And just like that, the king was pinned to the dirt of his own palace. Mr. Harold, screaming, you're making the biggest mistake of your life. Logan slaps Harold again. Logan, to security. When you're done throwing that fool out, toss this liar with him. Commotion erupts. Guests gasp. Some scream. TikTok cameras roll. In the hallway, Clara, in royal blue, regal, powerful. She hears the uproar and sprints toward the ballroom. What is going on? She bursts in, sees her husband, face to the floor, knee in his back. Her world stops. Clara screams, Anthony! She rushes across the ballroom like a storm. Clara, furious. What the hell is this? Why is my husband, the man this night is for, pinned like a thief on marble floors? Gasps. Logan freezes. Ushers stare in horror. Influencers lower phones in shame. Logan, stammering, Ma'am, I didn't know. Clara, cutting him. No. You didn't ask. You assumed. She kneels, gently touches Tony's face. I'm so sorry. I should have come down sooner. You've done nothing wrong. Tony quietly replied. She stands, regal, commanding. The room falls silent. Clara, to the crowd. Let this be known. This man, my husband, is Anthony Whitestone, the architect of this empire. And tonight you assaulted him. Gasps ripple. Mr. Harold cries. Logan turns pale. The influencer deletes her stream. The floor didn't quake for bass or orchestra. It trembled from shame. Clara takes Tony's hand. He stands. They walk through the ballroom like royalty. Every eye follows. And in that silence, the world saw something new. The face behind the foundation. Truth had entered the room, and it brought fire. The music stopped. The band halted mid-note. A fog of confusion settled over the gold-trimmed walls. From behind the podium, the event planner whispered to the tech crew. The stage manager gave cut the cake cue. Kill the jazz. Spotlight now. The chandeliers dimmed. One white spotlight hit the center stage. Clara and Tony stepped into the light. She turned to the crowd. Her voice, regal and shaking with emotion, cut through the silence. Clara began, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I thank you all for coming to celebrate the 50th birthday of a man most of you never truly knew. You praised my vision, admired my taste. You called me the Queen of Mayflower. But let me tell you something tonight. I was never the architect. I was never the genius. I was never the founder. The man beside me is the reason any of you know the name Mayflower at all. His name is Anthony Whitestone. Gasps. Murmurs. Someone drops a champagne flute. Clara conted. He is the man you passed at the gate, the man you judged by his skin, the man you shoved and shamed at his own celebration. He is my husband, the love of my life, and the builder of this empire. She turns to him, their hands clasped tighter. You deserve your moment, Anthony. Let the world finally see you. She hands him the microphone, steps back, eyes glisten with pride. Tony takes the mic, held the microphone like a seasoned performer, but his hands shook like a first-timer. He looked across the room, faces he'd hired, mentored, supported, and many who never knew he existed. I wasn't supposed to speak tonight. In fact, I planned to stay in the shadows, like I have for over 2 decades. But fate has a funny way of shining light on the things we try to hide. Let me tell you all a story. My story. I was born in a tiny apartment in East Houston. 1 room, 6 of us. My father laid bricks. My mother cleaned schools. I was told early, be twice as good and you might get half the credit. When I had my first idea for a luxury hotel, the banker looked at me and said, hotels aren't your kind of business. I showed him my plans. He never even looked at them. I asked investors. They laughed. I built websites at night, poured concrete by day, took loans at criminal interest rates, almost lost my life to this dream. But I kept going. Then came Clara. She didn't just believe in the hotel. She believed in me. When we realized the world wouldn't take a black man seriously as the face of luxury, I stepped back. She stepped forward. And for 25 years, we built this together. The emotions shift in the crowd. The crowd was no longer frozen. Faces dropped. Some covered their mouths in shame. The chef from Italy bowed his head. A senator removed his glasses, wiping tears. Even Logan, hidden behind a marble column, couldn't bear to look up. Tony continued, I don't want pity. I don't even want revenge. I just want people to understand what bias does. When I walked in tonight, no one saw a founder. No one saw a visionary. They saw a threat. He paused. That says more about this world than it does about me. Clara joins him again, returned to his side. She didn't need to say a word. Tony took her hand, held it up. This is the woman who gave up fame so we could keep building. This is the hotel we built. And this is the truth. Suddenly, someone in the back started clapping. Then another, and another. The ballroom erupted in applause, thunderous, heartfelt, ashamed, and inspired all at once. Phones went up, hashtags flooded timelines. Hashtags Anthony Whitestone, the real founder, the man they shamed. He looked over to Logan, now stiff, red-faced, and shrinking. Tony, earlier tonight, I was told to leave, that I didn't belong, that the entrance to the ballroom, my ballroom, was reserved for guests. The room shifted uncomfortably. No, I wasn't surprised, because I've seen that look before. As a boy, when teachers said I was too ambitious. As a teen, when I was denied jobs I was overqualified for. As a man, when I walked into banks with real estate blueprints and got laughed out. He raised his voice, just enough to send a tremor through the chandeliers. And tonight, when I wore the supposed wrong skin tone to the right address. A sharp exhale from a senator's wife. Someone dabbed at their eyes with a napkin. Tony's tone softened. You see, the Mayflower wasn't born from investors. It was born from rejection. From a young black man working double shifts on construction sites, saving every dollar. learning to code at night, and believing that one day he could build a place where elegance didn't require a pedigree. He turned and looked lovingly at Clara. And then she walked into my life, a hotel PR girl with class, guts, and grace. She saw past the skin, the stigma, the statistics. She saw the dream, and I asked her for something no man should ever have to ask. Clara looked down, her eyes full. I asked her to be my face. He nodded, because I knew the world wasn't ready for my face. The ballroom held its breath. I signed the papers, built the floors, mortgaged everything. But I let her stand in front, because if she asked for a loan, they approved it. If she shook hands, the cameras came. She didn't steal the spotlight. I handed it to her, because the dream mattered more than the pride. A long silence, a truth no one could deny. But I see now. He swallowed. Hiding gave comfort, but it also gave permission. Permission for people to assume that men like me couldn't own rooms like this. He looked directly at Logan now. And then to Harold. Mr. Harold, you've been with us from the beginning. You've worked as if your life depended on it. You never give us any problems. Thank you for staying even when it seemed the business would collapse and the others left. You even received 2 heavy slaps tonight for my sake from someone young enough to be your last child. Thank you. As one man, we've decided to honor tonight. I'm glad to announce that you're now a member of the board of directors of this empire, with benefits attached, which includes a beautiful amount of shares of this empire. A soft applause came from the already emotional crowd. Tony turned again to Logan. Tonight wasn't the first insult, but it will be the last one you deliver in this building, because you're fired. Gasps again. Logan's knees buckled slightly. Security approached quietly from the side. There are other members of staff that'll be honored with series of upgrades and thank you messages they'll receive via their email. Tony stepped back a bit, took a slow breath, and turned toward the audience again. To those who stood by and said nothing, you weren't just silent, you were complicit. To those who laughed, filmed, or judged, you saw color, not character. And yet, I forgive you. Another silence, deeper this time. Because shame shouldn't be the end of the story. It should be the beginning of learning. This isn't just my birthday. It's a rebirth of truth, of visibility, of justice, not through vengeance, but grace. He smiled now. To those who looked at me tonight and saw a stranger. He leaned forward, voice soft but powerful. Look again. I am the man who signs your checks, the man who laid the marble you walked on tonight, the man who built this palace, stone by stone, line by line, dream by dream. Applause. Slow at first, then thunderous. People stood, some with tears, some with bowed heads. Even the influencers stopped filming. They clapped instead. The music team started to play a soft instrumental behind the moment. Tony stepped back, took a glass from a waiter, and raised his glass. Here's to the dreamers who stay standing, even when the world tries to bury them. Here's to the truth, and here's to never hiding again. He looked at Clara. Thank you for being my partner, my voice, my courage, until I found my own. She mouthed back, I love you. Dear viewers, in a world that often praises the visible and forgets the vital, remember this, your silence does not make you invisible, only unread. So here's a word of advice. Stand firm in your truth, even if it shakes the room. Real dignity is not in applause. It's in knowing you built the stage. And let this poetic truth sink deep. They may never carve your name in gold or raise your statue to the sky, but the bricks you laid in secret will outlive every lie. For kings are not crowned by noise, but by the echoes of the walls they built when no one was watching. If that stirred something in you, like subscribe and hit the notification bell, because more stories that matter are coming. Until next time.